And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Denver Nuggets episode. So as you can probably guess, we are going to talk about the all-time starting five from the Denver Nuggets, a franchise that has been around since the ABA. A long time, although I don't know that you'd know they've been around that long by the players, but we'll see. And we also do not have a guest for this episode, so we'll just get right to it. Drew, who's your Denver Nuggets point guard?
Fat Lever.
Oh, he's also mine.
He's also mine.
He's mine.
Right?
Not mine.
Well. Well, Drew, what you got for old Fat Lever?
I mean, Denver, he averaged 17, 7, 7, and 2.5 steals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
impressive.
pretty good.
He put up a fair amount of triple-doubles in his career.
Yeah.
While triple-doubles were still cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
before
saw.
Westbrook.
I saw one of the things. He said this. He was doing it. They said this was kind of like not what Westbrook was doing, but like they comparing to like what Westbrook was doing. He was doing it before him, kind of to an extent, not as crazy as Westbrook did, but he was doing it like for real with Denver.
Yeah.
And
How big do they list him?
Oh, they list him at 6'3", 170.
170. Gotcha.
He was the point guard for that 80s Denver team that just smashed every scoring record there was. They held the, I think they still hold the single game scoring record for most points scored in a game.
Didn't they just run?
Yeah, it was Lever and Vanderway and English, and they just flew up down the floor scoring. I mean, English has what, 3 or 4 scoring titles?
I mean, he's at least got.
He's the 80s all-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
yeah, he is. Alex English could score.
This franchise is gonna have a lot of pure scores. They have a lot of them.
I feel like this list is about to get wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say, I mean, he had a season. This is back-to-back seasons, all right? 19 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. That's back-to-back seasons.
What was
for
his
Fat.
steals?
Steals in those 2 seasons?
Yeah.
2.5 and 2.7.
It's pretty nasty.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
solid point guard.
He's got a couple All-Stars, and All-NBA, and All-Defense. So
I just thought he was the best all-around option. There's a couple guys I did consider when I was thinking about moving people around, or I mean, they even have a couple point guards. If I wanted to go a certain direction, I gave him a thought.
I looked at some other point guards, but
Yeah.
Fat just seemed to be the choice.
Yeah, But the question is, who does Ray have?
Yeah, Ray, who do you have?
Uh-oh.
Nick Van Exel.
Oh, okay.
Quick.
I did always like Nick Van Exel.
Oh, me too.
Me too.
I did. For some reason, like me and Alex used to always, we collected basketball cards for I don't know how many years, and you ever just end up eventually you have a giant collection of cards. If you're a card collector, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's always like 5 or 6 people that you always end up with like 15 different cards of theirs.
And you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the two of those guys are, for me, when I was younger, I had so many Nick Van Exel cards and Michael Finley cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably why I knew so much about Michael Finley in the last episode.
Well, what you got to say about Nick the Quick?
Well, I mean, we all know him from L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Decent job there. I think he kind of balanced himself out. Kind of stood on his own in Denver. 17.7, 3.4 rebounds, 8.4 assists, about a steal. I don't know. I just wasn't really worried about rebounds, I guess, totally with Nick Van Exel because we got a few other guys can take that mantle up, and I really just needed somebody to direct the floor.
Well,
Fair enough.
I will say this. I don't overly worry about rebounds for my point guard unless you're trying to do something like we did with Dallas last week where you got big men that don't rebound well. So I don't have a big problem with that either. My big bugaboo with Nick Van Exel is his efficiency.
Yeah.
In Denver, he shot 40% from the field. Three teams he played for, he shot under 40% from the field.
Yikes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But yeah, he was exciting to watch.
Yeah. I always liked him.
Well, we're done with the OPGs and going to
Yeah.
shooting guards.
Go to
Yeah.
shooting.
Shooting guards. Yes. All right. Well, I said we got Ray and Drew already. So Wade, who's your shooting guard?
I had Thompson.
I did as
I
well.
also have David Thompson.
I do not.
Do you have him at all?
Nope.
Okay. Gotcha. No Thompson, huh?
Nope. I'm going a different route.
Interesting.
I think you'll see. Like
It'll make sense once we see it.
it'll make sense. Yes.
I gotcha.
It's all right.
I don't know. I had kind of a similar feel to this team as I did last week. I'm not really trying to make a trend out of it, but I feel like this is going to be a dominant offensive team. And Thompson, and unfortunately his career was cut short, but his time in Denver was still amazing. We're talking about just one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, pretty much. I mean,
Well, and if you ever watched him play,
Jump out of the gym,
oh
baby.
my gosh, he was so exciting.
Mark talks about him like he was like walk on water or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Mark,
he was
Mark's like,
unreal.
dude, because he got in trouble with drugs, didn't he?
Right. Well,
Yes.
coke and the
Yeah.
that time in the
cocaine,
NBA it was
Yeah.
all over, and he had a problem with it.
Yeah, and Mark talks about how if he didn't, get in trouble or whatever, like he'd go down as like top 10 player of all time.
Oh, his vertical leap was phenomenal. I mean, I think it was like 40-some inches, and he could fly.
I mean, we're talking about like a 6-year stretch to start. This is to start his career. This is his points per game: 26, 26, 27, 24, 21, 25.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, what
It-
happened after that? They
Oh,
went
that-
14, 15, 12.
I think the drug issues.
Just
Yeah,
drugs.
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah.
I think drugs just completely took out his career, didn't they?
I think they did. Yeah.
Like,
I
it
just-
was- Yeah.
he was done. There might have been an injury in there too, but that might have been a way to cover it up too. I don't know. I think he came out of North Carolina State, maybe.
That sounds right.
I remember watching him play in college too. He was just phenomenal.
Yeah, he played at NC State. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have anything else to add on Thompson?
I'm good. I mean, I just
Yeah.
trying to emphasize how great of a scorer he was.
He was Dominique before Dominique. He was the
Yeah.
human highlight reel.
That's fair.
So 3 of you. So Doug, Wade, and Drew had Thompson.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ray, who's your shooting guard?
Allen Iverson.
Oh, I don't have Allen Iverson either.
Ooh.
No, I don't.
I thought
you got AI?
I do not. I do not.
I thought maybe Ray and I had a similar idea, but no, we didn't.
To be completely honest, I think Allen Iverson's most efficient short stretch of his career is in Denver.
It is.
Yeah,
When he could play with another star, he
Mhm.
did it. I mean, his numbers in Denver are 25, 3, and 7 with 2 steals,
yeah.
and he shot almost 46% from the field.
Yeah.
Wasn't that right after the hand check got taken away? So no one could touch the quickest player in the league?
It could
Yeah,
have
Probably.
that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know.
made a couple all-star teams in Denver.
Yeah.
So,
Just a nice solid 2. You know, he could do just about everything except for play defense, really.
again, a guy that it wasn't for lack of trying. He was just too small.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
But-
that's true.
All right. Well, anything else to add on Allen Iverson there, sir?
Just don't talk about practice.
It is one of my favorite videos to post.
I know, it is. It's
Practice.
Well, my shooting guard is Alex English.
Yeah, it's a small forward.
It's my small forward.
So English.
I think I know what you did. I think I know where Alex is going now.
funny. Yeah.
I think I know the rest of it.
So English one here, and then where's
Think
the
so.
other votes?
I have him at small forward.
And that's the only other one.
Who? What? I'm sorry.
Who had English at small forward?
Me.
I did.
So 2.
Yeah, put me down there too. I have 2 at small forward, and I hadn't made up my mind before we came.
So 4 for English.
4 total, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have Alex English at all, Ray?
No.
Nah, I bet.
I bet he has the same small forward I do.
I think so too.
Yep.
We're getting interesting here.
I'm doing almost the same as I think as last week. Mine is offense.
That's why I did this. I'm going to be offense guy.
Yeah, I went offense with Denver because I'm like, that's their strong suit.
We'll debate at the end.
But Alex English played 11 seasons in Denver, averaging 26 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, shooting 51% from the field. So he scored a bunch of points very efficiently. That's why I kind of gave English the nod over Thompson, is because he scored a few more points, a little bit more efficiently. It wasn't a ton, but he also put up a little bit better numbers outside of the scoring, the rebounds and the assists. So that's what I did with Alex English. He also is like an 8-time All-Star, scoring champ, 3 8-time All-NBA, and a stacked small forward position at that time. English, Wilkins, Bird. Who am I leaving off? English, Wilkins, Bird, Dantley, Aguirre, all playing small forward right there. So, like I said, I think was it last week I said, or was it earlier this episode? I can't even remember now. I said that he's the 80s all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, you just said it.
Yeah,
10 minutes ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what I got for Alex English. Anybody else have anything to add?
No, I mean, he's just a great scorer. The Nuggets have like 3 of the greatest pure scorers to ever play basketball.
Well, we now have 3 of your all small forwards, so only Ray and I have a small forward left. So, Ray, who's your small forward?
Carmelo Anthony.
He's also mine.
He's
That was the one I was arguing back and forth with.
He's my power forward.
He's my power forward.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's not my power.
I know where Alex is going to power forward. I don't know where you're. I think you might.
like it.
You were talking about basketball cards earlier. My power forward, I have a shit ton of basketball cards for.
Oh, I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, we had the same cards. Yes. Yeah.
Anybody want to talk about Melo?
Again, for the third player I've had in a row, he's just a phenomenal scorer.
Yeah.
He put the ball in the basket. But the one thing I can say about Carmelo, he could score in so many different ways. He was big and strong and could post you up and back you down and do it's just a short little simple fadeaway. He could put his shoulder through you and get to the basket easily. He has one of the best mid-range games in NBA history, and the older he got, the better he got at the three-pointer.
He's a 3-level scorer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best pure scorers in NBA history.
Yes.
English and Thompson are also all-time great scorers. They just didn't do it in the same way as Carmelo. Carmelo is a more complete scorer.
They weren't the shooter Melo was.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
Melo,
yeah.
much
They
better
did things
shooter.
differently. So again, just an all-time great scorer.
Melo's numbers in Denver, 8 seasons, by the way. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal on 46%. So, pretty decent numbers there. Actually, in all reality, it's probably the best stop of his career, even better than New York.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he had postseason success there as well.
Yeah, that's where he has most postseason
They made
success.
the Western
Because
Conference Finals one
they were
year.
able to put a team around him.
Yeah.
Did they go the postseason together with Iverson?
They lost in the first round every year with Iverson.
Okay.
And they traded him for Billups, and they went to the
Billups,
Western Conference
that's who it
Finals
was.
the next
Western
year.
Conference Finals
Yeah.
with Billups.
Because that guy's a bitch. We don't need to go down this train.
Yeah, let's not do
We've
that.
been down that train
Yeah.
many of times.
Yeah.
And he's like, isn't he top 10 all time in scoring?
Who?
Melo?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe he is.
I think he's actually decently into the top 10, I think.
Yeah, he's top 6, top 7.
Yeah, he's up there.
That's where we at the top. We got LeBron, Kareem, Kobe, Malone, MJ, Wilt,
Dirk.
Dirk,
I think Melo.
And probably
and
Melo.
Didn't Melo get to 30,000?
Yeah, I think Melo did get to 30.
I was gonna say Elvin Hayes is right there somewhere too.
I mean, they could be right next to each other.
Yeah, could be. All right. Well, that is all of our small forwards, and now we had 2 power forwards at Mello.
Yeah.
Me and Drew.
Oh, you and I didn't hear Wade say it. My bad. I knew Drew did. All right. So, Uncle Doug, who's your power forward?
The Joker?
Oh,
Is your
okay.
mic off? I didn't hear
Yeah,
anything.
Jokic, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, it was off.
I'm intrigued now.
I am very intrigued. I don't know who your center is. I have Jokic at center.
Yeah, I have Jokic at center.
Yeah, so do I. Yes, I also have Jokic. That's center.
Oh, so right.
Yeah,
Unless-
I got Joker at power forward.
Maybe
All right, go right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Joker's in then?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
ev-
Joker's
so
in.
so you other 3 got him at center?
Where he plays.
He don't really play a position. He just kind of does what he wants.
He's a 7-foot tall guy. He
Yeah.
plays center.
Not just that. He's like almost 300 pounds.
Yeah.
He's a power forward.
Well, do you guys want to talk about Joker for a second?
Well, I mean, how many times has he been MVP now?
Twice.
In a row?
You know,
And
I mean,
3 maybe.
Isn't he?
yeah. Averaging double-double and puts up triple-doubles on occasion. Can assist.
Right. Currently, he's averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
24
So-
points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists.
So he has to be on there, and this you'll understand when we get to center what I'm talking about.
He's a career Nugget. Sorry, I couldn't think of what franchise we were talking
Right.
about. He's a career Nugget, although he's been in the league like 7 years. Not like he's been there 20 or something like some of the guys we talked about. His career numbers are 20 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, not a block. 55% from the field, 34 from 3, and 83 from the free throw line.
I mean, isn't he the only MVP in the franchise's history?
I believe so.
I don't think
Yeah.
Carmelo or
No, Melo doesn't
English
have an
one
MVP.
was.
So, I mean, you can't. How you gonna make a list without?
No, I think
He's gotta
he's
be there.
quickly going up the list to greatest player in franchise history. I mean, if he's not already, he's gonna be there soon.
He's already achieved higher things than anybody else.
Yeah,
did.
he's made a Western Conference Finals, so nobody I don't think they've ever made the finals, so nobody has that over him.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 MVPs, and nobody else in the franchise even has one.
Yeah.
He's got 5 All-Stars in 7 seasons, 4 All-NBAs.
Yeah. That's pretty. Well, I'm sorry. I really just want to know who Uncle Doug's center is.
Me too. But we're not done at power forward because I haven't said mine.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Gosh dang it, Alec.
My bad.
No, you're good. My power forward is Antonio McDyess.
We do have a fuck ton of his cards. We really
Yes.
do. He is one of the dudes. And Sharif Abdul-Rahim somehow ended up with like 9 of those.
Yeah.
Antonio McDyess.
Who was a baller. I loved McDyess before his injury. But in Denver, he put up 18 points, 9 rebounds, and assists, a steal, and a block. 48% shooting. He had a big knee injury that really messed up his career. But before that, he was a beast for Denver, making some all-star teams and won All-NBA. He was a really good defender, which it doesn't really fit in with this team, but he was a good defender in his own right.
Yeah. This team ain't made for defense, baby. Ain't made for defense.
Nope. Which may be part of Ray's argument for having AI on the team.
Playing them passing lanes.
Yeah.
If you want to lose in the first round, you keep him on there, buddy.
He also made it to the finals, too.
And lost.
Not with Denver, he didn't.
Right. But he still made one.
I mean, if we're going to go there, I guess. But
Yeah.
I said Antonio McDyess made a final. He didn't win it, but he made a finals, just not in Denver. I really didn't think I'd be the only one with McDyess, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's my power forward.
I honestly thought there was another power forward that we'd see for sure, to be honest. Unless Uncle Doug's got him up his sleeve right here.
All right. Well, We have 2 centers left, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Ray and I.
Ray, okay. So the 3 of us have Jokic. So Ray and Uncle Doug, which one of you want to tell us who your center is?
My center's Dan Issel.
Okay, I already have it
figured.
pulled up on my phone.
Yeah.
I liked it. He is very underrated.
Yeah. Well, he scored 27,000 points in his career.
Oh.
11,000 rebounds and almost 3,000 assists. Is the all-time leading scorer at the University of Kentucky. So
It's a good school to be the all-time leading scorer at.
yeah, second leading scorer all-time for the Denver Nuggets. Second leading scorer all-time for the ABA. Upon his retirement, only Wilt, Kareem, and Dr. J had scored more career points than he had.
It's impressive.
It is impressive.
He was ABA champion, NBA All-Star, 6-time ABA All-Star, All-Star Game MVP in the ABA, Rookie of the Year, scoring champ. So Dan could play a little.
So his nickname on Basketball Reference is Horse.
Interesting.
Just horse.
Did he look like a horse?
Yeah. Not that bad.
I don't think he looked
He
that.
said not that bad.
I mean, he's kind of ugly, but I wouldn't say horse-like. I mean, I don't know. Who are we to judge what another man looks like?
Why the long
His-
face, sir?
His numbers in Denver are 20 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal on 50% shooting.
Pretty good. He was a good defender, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I can't remember if I read something about him making all defensive teams or not.
He doesn't have any all-defensive teams.
Yeah, it
Okay.
didn't look like it.
Might be someone else then. Never mind. I was reading about someone I thought I was a big man here.
So, Uncle Doug, my question is, why? I mean, it doesn't matter, but I mean, like, why Jokic at power and Issel at center and not the opposite?
Either way. Yeah, I always just think of Issel as a center.
Mhm.
And Jokic, I'm just kind of like Ray. He can. I feel like Jokic can move
Adapt.
around. I mean, even though he's so big, I
Yeah.
feel like he can.
Well, I was just say, like, that was my thing, was the size difference. I mean, Issel's listed at 6'9", 235, so I was like,
Right.
he's quite a bit smaller. But just wondered.
And he could be power forward, and Jokic could move to center. Either way,
Yeah.
that's just the 2 guys I wanted in there.
All right, Ray, who's your center?
I'm putting Mutombo.
I thought you
Mutombo.
might.
Hey, he was the shit with Denver.
Yeah.
There's no denying that.
I mean, obviously a really good defender.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's probably the only defense I have on my team is Mutombo.
It's gonna be some of the only defense almost most of us have.
I'm
Yeah.
saying like I did
Outside
last
of maybe
episode.
Lever.
If we decide to put Mutombo on here, he's done.
Which other
true.
one did he make?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That'd probably be fine. Yeah.
So, you got anything to say about old Dikembe?
Killer blocker, killer rebounder, killer defender. Not a real big scorer, but I mean, what's he gonna do? I mean,
This is his biggest scoring stop of his career.
I mean, 12.9.
Yeah, I say 13 points, 12 rebounds, and assists, and 3 blocks.
Yeah.
52% shooting.
I mean, he has like 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, doesn't he?
It's 3 or 4. Let me look.
It's somewhere up there.
4, yes.
Yeah. And didn't he get a couple in Denver? Or is it just like 1 or none?
I don't know how many he got in Denver.
So Basketball Reference doesn't list them like.
I know he won 1 in Philly,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
but other than that, I don't know where his others came, whether they're in Denver, Atlanta.
Let me say he got.
I mean, it might be
one
spread
in
out.
Atlanta.
I would
He might
assume
have.
he won at least 1 in Denver. He was there for 5 years. I would
Yeah.
assume.
Might won one each place. Atlanta, Denver, Philly.
Could be. I don't know.
And I figured with Mutombo, we needed somebody to body up the older guys. They're gonna be rough in the paint.
I mean, he is one of the greatest defenders ever. Just unless you match him up with Shaq.
Yeah.
That's his downfall. But there's not very many people built like Shaq. But
no.
really, outside of really Shaq, though, he was a phenomenal defender against most everyone. I mean.
Shaq just had his number at that finals.
There was just
Shaq
such
was
a big
too
weight
big.
difference.
Yeah.
There was just like a
You're looking at like 80 pounds.
Yeah, Shaq just moved him out of the way physically and just dunked it. I mean,
Yep.
and there was no one to come help Mutombo that would have made a difference. In some rosters, you could send another like big bruising power forward or something to come.
Well, I
mix
mean,
it up,
like
or another real tall
when-
center you could sub in.
When he's concentrating on moving David Robinson, you brought the double with Duncan. You know, like
Yeah.
things like that. That's where guys had a lot more success. Not putting Dikembe Mutombo on an island with Shaq and being like, "Hey, we don't have another big and nobody's coming to help." You know,
It's Shaq.
right?
It's Shaq. You can't not swarm him. Like it's just no
Not
one.
and win.
Yeah, like
So you cannot do it, but you'll just lose.
yeah.
So that is all of our players now. So now we gotta decide who's where.
Oh boy.
We have 10 guys for 5 spots.
Oh boy.
Mm.
So we start at point guard this time, guys.
Sure.
Right. What do we have to do?
Well, let's see here.
You haven't made a deal for a while, Ray.
I
That is
know.
true, actually.
Dad, don't say stuff like that. Last time all I had to do was ask.
Let's see. I will. Who's all got Jokic at center?
Me.
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 Okay. So you take Joker off center, put him on power forward. I will disintegrate Van Exel.
So you want our 3 votes to go away for your 1 vote?
If we do want to try to give the Nuggets some defense, Mutombo would probably need to be considered. If we just want to go all offense like last week, then we can just say fuck that.
I don't know. I think these all offensive teams can make more problems than us trying to give these other teams the same builds as other teams. I think making each team unique to what players they have is better than just trying to fit the mold for every team, doing the same, building them all the same way.
I agree with you. I mean, I made an all offensive team. I mean, I have Melo with the 4. I think you and me were the only ones put Melo
Yeah.
with the 4.
But I just think
But I mean-
I not build every team with the same mold. If we just do it, each
Yeah.
team the way their franchise with their best players, I think that'd be a lot more interesting just doing it and better
Yeah.
for each team, giving them their
Well,
unique.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Ray and I had similar thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong, but my thought was I really wanted McDyess at power forward because we needed a shot blocker next to Jokic. And I think Ray's had a similar thought. I'll put Jokic as the power forward and put a big shot blocker like Mutombo at center. Putting a shot blocker next to Jokic who doesn't block shots.
Yeah. Like you got to have somebody cover your star, cover his back, because he got a deficiency there.
Honestly, I'm just trying to get a feel for what people are leaning towards. I mean, do we need... Is it going to make a big enough difference to try and maneuver 1, maybe 2 positions to get a little better defender, or maybe 1 great defender in Mutombo? Is that really going to make a difference against all these other all-star teams?
Well, I guess here's my question. If no matter who we take next to Jokic, whether it's McDyess, whether it's Anthony, whether it's Mutombo, whether it's who'd you have, Uncle Doug?
Issel.
Issel. Are they going to win any matchups?
I think
None of those guys are winning their matchup against any good teams.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, I guess it depends how specific we're getting.
I mean, yeah, they might be able to win the Hornets matchup or, like a bad teams matchup. But we're talking about, like, if we're talking about, well, we're bringing Mutombo in for defense or whatever the case may be, we're matching Mutombo up defensively against Olajuwon and Shaq and Wilt and Jabbar. And, like, those are the guys they have to go through.
Moses.
Moses, like, whoever it is, those are the guys we have to go through. Because here's the other thing. We made a list of the 10 greatest centers of all time. Most of those guys are going to be on multiple teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
David Robinson.
Yeah, David Robinson is another one. So, like, we're looking at, like, the 10 greatest centers of all time being, like, 18 teams or something stupid like that.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the guys these guys have to guard.
And a lot of them are in the Western Conference.
Well,
I would say, because
So, I mean, that's honestly what you just said is why I made my roster. I think I put their best players on the team, and all their best players in franchise history are just elite scorers. And then Jokic, and I guess you could have a couple different options at point guard. But
Well, let's go away from defense, offense for a second.
Okay.
Because last week, when we were talking about Dallas, we decided to go offense, but we said we had a problem rebounding. If we go small, like Wade and Drew did, will we have that same problem?
Well,
I mean, no matter which way you transition, it will turn into a problem in a different direction. I mean, if you go small with Anthony at the 4 and then English, Thompson, and Lever or whatever, yes, you're going to have trouble, and you have Jokic who will rebound, but then you're kind of weak after that. But then you're an extreme. Anthony would be an extreme mismatch on offense when they matched up against all these big teams, and they have to come out and guard Carmelo Anthony. But then if you put like Dan Issel or McDyess, then on smaller teams where we've made them all offensive, or put smaller guys there, then they're gonna be the mismatch on the opposite end. But then they'll rebound better. Like, it just depends on who you get matched up against on like really what we're comparing.
Yeah. I mean, we've leaned offense this entire time. I mean, we went Elton Brand over Rodman and Horace Grant basically because he could score. We went offense for the Nets. We went offense for Dallas. We have leaned offense as a group.
Well, I think
it makes it more entertaining.
Well, I think just with some of these teams, that's their only chance of being good.
Yeah.
Like Dallas. Well, I mean, yeah, you can laugh at the whole Porzingis thing and how they get he's the best fucking option to score the ball. Like, that's just all there is to it.
You got to put all your chips in. If that's how I was going to coach these teams, if I know I got to play these bigger guys, I'm going to get guys that we're not going to be able to stop them. So we got to try and keep up with them.
Okay,
scoring
okay, Uncle Doug, back when those Nuggets teams with English and Lever and all them, when they were scoring all those points, didn't they have a couple playoff runs?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, they could literally just be their own franchise and just get up and down the floor and score as many points as they could.
I mean, Denver for most of our lives and in the 80s just ran. Because, I mean, when we were younger, what's his name? The famous coach. George Karl had them running all over the place.
Yeah.
And they were putting up a bunch of points then.
Yeah, they had that one team that won like 55 games, and the best player was like Ty Lawson. They had like Ty Lawson, Gallinari, Fareed.
I think Aflalo was there.
Yeah. They just ran and shot, and the athletic guys just took off to the basket, and then the good shooters just stuck out of three-point land for the kick out. And that's what they did over and over, and they ran and ran. They won like 55 games, and their best player was Ty Lawson.
Right now, they're winning the West. They're number one. I mean, they get out on the break with when Murray plays, when Michael Porter, Jokic.
Well, Jokic gets the rebound, and then he can just spray it wherever he wants it all the way across the court.
Is it Gordon there?
Yeah, Gordon and Porter play the forwards, and you have who is their other guard other than Murray?
Caldwell Pope.
Yeah, Caldwell Pope. Yep.
Uncle Doug's
Uncle
boy?
Doug's. Yeah. All right, so we haven't decided a single position yet, have we? Yeah.
Nope.
I made a deal. The deal's still on table.
I'm rejecting your deal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm rejecting you.
Remember how this went last time? He's gonna get mad. He's gonna punish you.
No, but
don't disrespect the deal.
but he asked for over half the room to give something up so that he could give up one thing.
Yeah.
That's a terrible deal. Only the Houston Texans would do something like that.
The Houston Texans.
I'm trying to help the benefit of the team here, and go ahead and just take him off the board and put him power forward, so we can just deviate or decide on Dan or Mutombo. Because we all know we want Joker.
I guess
power forward.
I mean, Joker's on. Joker's making the team.
Yeah.
I mean, all five of us voted for him. And I'm not saying Jokic can't be our power forward. I just find it hard to believe that three of us need to give up something so that you can give up something.
I mean, it's either that or I can take a couple draft picks for the future, you know.
I'll give you some cash consideration.
Yeah, I got a shiny nickel in my foot, in my wall. I can't talk.
I think it's hard to believe that. No offense to Dane Issel and Mutombo, but I think if we put Jokic at power forward, that means we're leaving Alex English or Carmelo Anthony off the team.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think those two are.
I think behind Jokic, those are the first two I think.
Those are the first two I think of.
Well, I mean,
The older people think of English, and
we could technically do with that at the top
like it.
and do what I did at the wings. I have English and Melo playing the wings.
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. Hi, can we just agree on the point guard to start and just get one position solidified? What do you want to do to go on the lever train?
That's what he said. He said we all need to get
We're
more
not doing
centers.
that one. We've already established that. Go to lever and let's see, where are you? You're across here.
can you give it AI?
Well, no,
If you give up
No, I'm not
next
getting
week, you can
anything.
also give up Iverson. I like that deal. I like it a lot.
You gotta try it out.
no, I'm getting 0 things.
Hey, if we're going all scoring, we could go Iverson, Thompson, English, Anthony, Jokic. Who the hell's gonna outscore those motherfuckers? I'll go for it. Fuck
They'll
it.
fist fight each other for the ball. It would just be a brawl in the middle
But
of the field. Nuggets.
We don't care about team chemistry.
Who's got Anthony at power forward?
Me and Drew.
Yeah, me and Wade.
All right, so I'll take Van Exel off if y'all move Anthony to small forward.
Then who would we put at power? We'd have to go to a power forward.
Yeah, he'd make us move Jokic or something else.
Or you guys could come to McDice.
I don't know.
If we were gonna do more of a traditional lineup, I would have Jokic and Issel. I like Issel. I'm not saying McDice sucks. I like McDice, and I think him and Issel have similar numbers, but I don't know. I liked Issel. He seemed like just a great, strong, traditional power forward that got buckets and rebounded and was a tough guy.
Here, I'll start off with a good faith here.
So Fat Lever is our point guard.
So we'll do good faith.
No one liked the
here.
Iverson play.
Well, if you want to go pure scoring, here's the 10 best scorers in Nuggets history.
Oh boy.
It's Alex English, Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, David Thompson, and Kiki Vandeweghe.
Oh.
And Issel's number 6. George McGinnis is 7. Joker's 8.
George McGinnis.
Interesting.
That would be nuts. Oh.
I mean, if we really want to make things stupid, the whole Iverson thing.
I'm
Iverson,
not saying we
Thompson,
need to do
English,
that.
Anthony,
We
Jokic.
keep talking about going pure scoring. Well, that's the top 5 scorers in Nuggets history.
AI, Thompson, English, Anthony, and Jokic. Oh my God.
What was it? What was Vanderway was the last one?
Yep.
You said in the
Or
top 5.
AI, Carmelo,
That's what I'm
English,
saying.
Anthony.
Like 3 of those guys played together.
Yeah, on the team that was averaging like 140 points.
I forgot about old George McGinnis. He's more ABA stuff.
Yeah, he was a pacer. That's why.
And a 76er.
Honestly,
Yeah, he was.
just talking about pure offense. That's a wild. That could be a wild team. Just a wild team. You don't know what the hell had happened. Who was gonna do what? They'd be all over the map.
And we thought weeks ago we had made the best offensive team in the Brooklyn
Well, you
Nets.
basically got one small guard, one big guard, and 3 wings.
Just imagine Jokic with the ball on like the top of the top of the key or on the elbow, and just having all these people running around him, and him just deciding who he wants to feed it to on that play. It would be nuts.
You know what else is nuts? Is Jokic is probably the best shooter on the team.
He can just stand out 3-point land and pass or shoot, baby, pass or shoot. Yeah, I mean, him and Melo would have to take all the threes. And Melo's decent, but he's not like great.
And then we're talking about the worst shooting Melo. The beginning of his career he was worse than he was later.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
true. It's true.
And Denver, his 3-point percentage is 31%.
Ooh, that's not good.
That's, ooh.
That's rough. That's a little rough.
What was, Alex English probably wasn't good. Neither was probably David Thompson or Iverson's.
English shot 22%.
Oh, good gosh.
David Thompson shot 25%. Allen Iverson
At least this was the most efficient Iverson. His might be decent.
shot 34%. So, I mean, that's better than
Reasonable.
a lot of the guys we just talked about.
Imagine like this team though, in like the 80s or 90s,
Mm-hmm.
just getting up and down. That'd be woof. That would be nuts. All right.
Well, guys, we got to make some decisions.
So are we sticking with Lever at point guard?
Or do we want to go crazy?
I mean, he was my point guard. I'm fine
I mean,
with
I
it.
had him, but
I had him too.
then we thought of this mega death offensive lineup, and now I won it. I mean, what would be funner than
So
trying to
well, what's your
this?
mega death lineup? Name the 5 guys. again.
Yeah.
Iverson, Thompson, English, Anthony, Jokic.
I could
It's
get
a
on board with
scoring
that.
fiesta.
I could get on board with that.
Yes.
I'll agree with it. I'll go with it.
Yes.
Iverson, Thompson, English, Anthony,
Jokic.
Jokic.
Yeah. I can almost get down with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll sign up.
Yes.
It's a very Denver thing to do.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're acting in honor of
All
the
right,
franchise.
I'm in.
yes.
Let's do it. Dad?
Yep.
I fucking get it again!
So, Dikembe's out, Issel's out, McDice is out,
Fat Lever's out.
Fat Lever's
We
out.
got him on.
You're like, you win.
That's the first guy we've kicked off.
We got him out.
That's the first guy we've ever kicked out.
And now, I gave Iverson some love in an episode. So there
That's
we
the
go.
only reason. That's the only reason I went with it.
Iverson's probably going to end up making 2 teams now.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. He's
Well, yeah,
gonna
he's making
He's gonna
the-
make the 76.
Yeah. So Iverson, Thompson, English.
Anthony, Jokic.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine this when, like, if we do simulations on 2K. This team's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, I'm probably loading this up later, right?
Good.
Yeah, these guys will put up some points.
Have them play Dallas in your simulation.
Oh my god.
Ray, by the
Denver,
way,
Brooklyn.
so
Or Brooklyn, yeah.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I think you should up the minutes so that we know how to compare the numbers. Like in the simulations.
Up to like 10-minute quarters or something.
Well, most big time players play what, between 35 to 40 minutes a
Yeah.
game.
You want 8,
So you want to keep the quarters to what,
9, 10?
8-9 minutes? A simulation?
You want to do 9, make it
Yeah, I guess
36?
that's-
Because
I
we
guess
can't
that's-
use bench players, or it messed the whole process up.
Yeah.
So we could just play
mean-
the starters and have
yeah.
the quarters be like 8-9 minutes and add up to like an actual
Mhm.
minutes that they would actually play in a game.
Yeah. So what? 8. We'll do 8 to 10.
I mean, if you do 8, you're gonna get 32 minutes for
If
every
you do,
player.
I say
I'll s-
9,
So do
36.
9 to dump. Yeah. So 9.
Don't do
would be
10. 10 would be 40 minutes.
That's
Yeah, that's too much.
I say 9, 36.
9-minute quarters.
Yeah. I think simulations could be really cool, actually.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll be cool, but I don't know if that's
So,
what we
uh,
should decide.
I don't think that's what we should decide, but I
No.
think it's cool.
I think it's cool to watch what 2K would have it.
Yeah.
Because like you said earlier, Charles isn't on 2K.
I have to. Yeah, I just have to create him because Reggie's not on there either.
Yeah,
so I gotta
Reggie's not
create
on
him
either.
too.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
just... I don't think that's how we should decide. We should have to talk it out.
Absolutely.
That could be part of it. We could do a bunch of simulations and then kind of keep track of them, and then it could be something we bring up, you know?
It's a way to start the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We
like,
can go from there.
you can use it, you know, someone's, you know, well, this team's going to dominate this team in the paint, and then you can be like, well, they beat them 3 times in a simulation, dummy. I don't think so.
Yeah.
To an extent.
All right. Well, that is our Denver team. Now, instead of talking about the NBA in this episode, we're going to answer some emails because we have 3 of them, which is not a lot. We appreciate you to send us some more, but we have 3 emails to answer, so we figured we'd answer those 3 before they got too out of date from the people that sent them to us. We appreciate those, and we're going to answer them real quick. And they're not all necessarily basketball related; they're just emails that fans sent in. So, Ray, can you read us the first email?
I can. And it's from our homie Robert. Sports
Robbie
the
D.
Nemo. Sports the Nemo Way crew. I was wondering, what's everyone's thought on Tua? My personal opinion is the guy should retire, and the Dolphins would be better off. Should we target someone like Jimmy G or Derek Carr in the offseason? Drew specifically knows how bad I wanted us to draft Herbert. Having to watch Tua underthrow Waddle and Hill every possession is incredibly painful. P.S. And I hate this comment. Ray owes all the guests a 5th place trivia ribbon. Fucker.
That's
And Robert is right. Before the draft, he said, "I want Herbert."
Oh, he did. I heard
He
it.
was so mad when they didn't.
Well, I mean, obviously that was the correct decision. I don't know. I honestly, to this day, don't know why the NFL soured on Herbert so much because I liked Herbert coming out.
I loved him.
So I'm not sure why that happened. But yes, they should have taken Herbert. But that being said, I actually talked to another Dolphins fan. And it's weird that we know two Dolphins fans. But I actually talked to another Dolphins fan the other day. One of my wife's family members is a Dolphins fan. And I asked him about the Tua situation. And he said, I'm fine keeping Tua if his brain isn't injured to the point where he can't play. And I was like, well, that's a good... I mean, that was harsh, but at the same time, it's kind of a... Like, you got to think about it at this point. He just had 3 concussions this season.
Well, and pretty severe concussions. They
Yeah.
weren't just...
Yeah.
you
I mean, the
know.
one he's laying on the ground, he looks like he's doing signs or something with his
that
hands.
was, like, bad to watch.
It
Yeah,
was.
it was.
It was scary.
It was.
Well, especially when they showed the replay and you could see every little detail and it's like slowed down.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't good.
And we saw it for like 2 or 3 days because they kept showing it over and
Yeah.
over
They
again.
kept showing the damn hand thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm him or his family, strong consideration to retire.
Especially with all the CTE stuff that's happened.
Yeah. And it at the very least, I'm like taking lessons on how to protect myself or something. 'Cause
Something.
the guy can't fall. Because a couple of those hits, guys just shoved him.
yeah, that Packer one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just pushed him. It wasn't a big tackle. It wasn't a pile drive. It wasn't a slant.
Right.
It was just they shoved him after he threw the ball, and he fell back and banged his head off the turf. I'm like, this guy's got to learn how to fall, learn how to protect
Yeah.
himself, something, because he's doing it weird. Because that happens like 20 times a game, every game,
Yeah.
and nobody gets hurt doing it.
Right.
And he gets a concussion where he misses weeks.
In my personal opinion, I think after the first one, that was the first one where they rushed him back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he got the
Mm.
super bad second one, and then he got the third one where you're like, what the fuck happened? He just got pushed.
Mm.
I think it never fully got. He never fully got fully recovered before they kept
Right.
happening.
Yeah.
So the effects kept getting worse, and then it got to the point where his brain was so fucked up on that last one. Just him hitting the ground from a push, his brain was still just so fucked up that
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was just it
Well-
just needs a long time to heal. I think.
And the more you get, the easier they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've said that for years.
Once you get one,
Yeah.
it's
To me, 3 strikes.
Well, 3 in 1 year. It's
Yeah.
not. Some guys freak out about getting 3 or 4 in a career. He had 3 in 1 season.
my friend Noah.
Oh, yeah.
He had at least 3 concussions since we've played youth football together. He got one in 5th, 9th, and 11th.
Yeah.
And the one in 11th grade, he got knocked out. They had to bring the ambulance on the field and take him to the hospital.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, if it had been Drew, he was done.
I mean, this was before I turned 18. Before we all turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
That's not
it's not like I'm professional. I mean,
Yeah.
you could not. He could not have been done growing yet. You've already got 3 concussions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're talking about the rest of your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And Tua's probably already made enough money
Right.
that he'll be fine.
Yeah.
If he's smart with it.
If,
yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he could have blown it, I guess.
Well, and I
but-
get the impression that he's not the guy that would blow it. He seems like he's got the family support. You know, his mom and dad seem to be behind him solid, and
He
you
seems
know, I
down
feel
to
like
earth
he's
and not
probably-
I
full.
mean, I'm
a
sure he'll
smart
still could get
kid.
a job, but it's not like he's got to get something. He's got to work all the time.
So let's ask
he
this.
could go and
though.
be a football coach, to be honest.
He
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
a football
Or an
coach.
announcer.
He could be
I mean,
an
yeah, he's a
analyst.
pretty articulate guy when you.
Yeah.
So let's just take the concussions out of it for a minute. If he's fully healthy, if you're the Dolphins, do you want him back as your starting quarterback?
Yes, I would.
Well, yeah.
After this last year, he looked amazing before the concussion stuff started, I thought.
He looked like he
Well,
was finally
the
starting to
receivers
get it.
looked amazing. He looked serviceable, I think.
Well, I mean, he did his job.
Yeah,
mean,
he
they
got
started
him
off the year, 4-0, 5-1, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Both receivers were on record pace. and
Yeah,
he
they
was
were-
putting up all his numbers.
Yeah,
They were-
Tyreek Hill was on pace for like 2,000 yards.
Yeah, he was on pace for over 2,000. Wasn't Waterlock on pace for like 15 or
Something like
1,600?
that, yeah. So you, where do you think Tua falls in the hierarchy of QBs?
Hierarchy? Well,
I mean, nobody in here thinks he's a top 10 quarterback, do they?
no, but
Probably 15 to 20.
He's somewhere in the middle after last year.
in the middle, I'd say he's probably like what, tier 3.
Going into last year, he would have been near the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
After this past year, I would put him somewhere smack dab in the middle.
The higher version of tier 3.
Okay, so the guys that Robert brought up, is Jimmy G a better option for the Dolphins?
No.
because he's also injury prone, and I think he's worse.
He is injury prone. You're
Yeah,
correct.
That's not.
So
they don't need
why
another.
The only good thing that
another
might come
injury.
from Jimmy G is he's going back with his offensive coordinator.
Well, Jimmy G's thing is he takes care of the damn ball, and he stupid stuff like that. But they didn't really have a problem with that with Tua until the end of the year, when I think, like Wade
was
said,
damaged.
he was damaged. I don't think he was making decisions in a quick enough time.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy who said, Ray?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
I think Derek Carr is an upgrade, no matter who's healthy and who's not. I think Derek Carr is just a better quarterback than Tua.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are treating him very poorly.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think if he goes to the Saints, it's an upgrade. If he goes to the Jets, it's an upgrade. If he goes to the Dolphins, it's an upgrade. Whoever else is looking for a quarterback, a lot of those teams, he's an upgrade.
If he goes to the Jets, that's definitely an upgrade.
Well, yeah, the Jets QB situation.
Did you hear the Jets told him in their interview?
that he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he won a Super Bowl in New York? But winning a Super Bowl in New York, I'm like, I mean,
we still talk about Joe Namath.
Yeah, that's true.
that's true.
He's not just a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's an icon.
He is.
Well, he's an icon if he brings the Super Bowl to New York. There's no doubt about it. A Super Bowl to the Jets, no less. The Giants have won Super Bowls. We've Eli's got one or two, and Sims has got one.
Parcells won 2 in the 80s.
Yeah, but Sims didn't win both of them, did he?
No. Sims won 1.
Yeah.
And then was it a backup that ended up winning the other one? I can't remember.
I think it was.
I think it was a backup.
Yeah. But anyway, they've got 4 Super Bowls.
It's a guy that went on to be a coach, I think. Or no, I might be thinking the wrong one. I'm pretty sure I watched the thing on NFL Network about them having a backup quarterback that came in and won one of their Super Bowls.
It probably was. But my point is they've seen Super Bowls. The Jets don't.
Right.
The Jets' last Super Bowl was what, in the 60s?
Namath. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They made it, won, haven't been back since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean their biggest success since then has come with the Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez.
I mean, if you put Derek Carr on Mark Sanchez's teams, they probably do win the Super Bowl.
They probably do.
Their
yeah.
defenses were great. They ran the ball down everyone's throat. Mark Sanchez just sucked, and that's why they came up a little short.
Yeah.
In the AFC Championship game.
Mr. Butt Fumble.
That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, you're known for running into a lineman's ass. That's all you're known for anymore. And that Rex Ryan has a tattoo of you. That was a big thing for a while.
Does he really?
He has like jerseys or symbols of every team he's coached on his body somewhere, and his Jets tattoo is a Mark Sanchez jersey, which doesn't look the greatest now.
By the way, they're saying that Rex Ryan might be the defensive coordinator for the Broncos.
I like it.
I think
I heard
it could
that,
be
yeah.
nuts. He, as a defensive coordinator, he's a mastermind.
He is.
Oh yeah.
And that Broncos defense has got a
good.
bunch of talent.
Yeah. And Sean Payton, he won't completely fix Russell Wilson, but he'll make them much better than they were last year.
Yes,
Sean Payton's a
agreed.
great
He'll
coach.
tell people to shut up and get their
Yeah.
act together.
But real quick, just to answer Robert's complete question, no, don't get Jimmy G. If you can get Carr, I think we all agreed to get Carr.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek
Yeah.
Carr.
But if you're gonna roll with Tua, I think you have to invest in a good backup, and start setting things in motion if you need to make a trade. I would start setting stuff up. I would invest in like Gardner Minshew or a top of the line backup, or even a veteran guy who's coming to the end of his career that maybe would take a backup job.
So after this season, Tua should be up for his extension. Like, you can't give this guy an extension at this point,
No.
can you?
It all comes down to this upcoming season.
I mean, if he gets one more concussion, there's no way you can sign him.
Yeah. Well,
The
if he
NFL
gets
probably
one
won't
more,
let him.
No one will even want him to play anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone will be too scared to put him on the field because then that team will be liable
Right.
for what
Yeah,
happens
because if
to
they're
him.
the team that his brain actually does go bad or
I mean,
something.
I mean,
Yeah.
I liked him coming out of Alabama. I mean, I liked watching him play in college. It seemed like a nice guy. I hate to see this happening to him.
I don't want this to happen to anybody.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this
you
sucks. I mean, you don't want anybody's career to end up screwed up or over because of injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if he fizzles out because he can't hack it, so be it.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
like...
Just when he was starting to get his act together, then these concussions. And
Yeah.
don't mess up the rest of your life.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've discussed that email pretty at length.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, thanks, Robert, for sending us an email. But emails don't have to come from people that have been on the podcast. They can come from anybody, people. Send them in.
That's why we give you the email address.
Ray, email number 2, please.
Number 2 is from Lene. And who is Lene, guys?
It is. Go ahead.
It's Wade and I's mother.
My aunt.
And, yeah.
My aunt.
Yes.
Hi, guys. I'm listening to the DH episode. I just wanted to say I hate the DH. I realize it is league-wide now, but I still hate it. Just saying. Thoughts, guys?
It's my sister. I agree with her.
I agree with her, but the only reason why I kind of like it is because it made Albert have a very good farewell season.
Yeah.
That's the only way that was possible.
I've honestly never had a strong opinion. I used to kind of like the dynamic of one league had pitchers do it, one league had DHs. I kind of thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
It
fun.
made the World Series interesting depending on where you were.
I didn't have. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting and cool that each league kind of had a different something. But if you went over to their league, you had to do their rules.
Right, yeah.
I kind of liked it. Like if there would have been a little more interleague play back then, I think it could have been really interesting. But I don't know. I don't have huge opinions on it.
My mom and I have had this discussion multiple times. We have the same argument over and over again. Because she just stated her opinion, and my opinion is the exact opposite. It's stupid not to have a DH, because if I wanted to watch people strike out, I would just go watch Little League or something. So I could do that. But her argument always is, well, if the pitchers tried harder, they would hit. And I'm like, but they don't, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
They don't try harder, so they don't hit. The average batting average for a pitcher is like 140 or something. So like what am I doing here? Like,
What?
I mean, so that's the way I look at it. I'd just rather have a guy that can actually fucking hit. Now the whole league decides we're all going to bat 200, so I guess that's a little bit different. But most of my life, people actually tried to hit baseballs. So
I wonder if people can tell who grew up an American League fan and who grew up a
I was
National
going to
League
say,
fan.
yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of American League versus National
Yeah.
League.
Yeah.
Let me show you a picture of you, Alex. You're going to hate this.
a picture of me.
Yeah. Dad, remember this from the other night? The picture of Alex in the hat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was shocked when we found this.
You're
picture.
wearing a Yankees hat.
Ugh.
Oh, no!
Oh, when Drew found that, he goes, Dad, is that really Alex? I'm like,
That's what I was like, Alex
where did he
never.
get that at?
I'm gonna to tell everybody that's listening. I'm a little kid.
Right,
Yeah, you're like, he's not older, but what would you say? Probably 6, 5?
Yeah, probably. So the hat was probably put on me.
yeah, probably.
You
'Cause
know.
I'm like,
So-
Alex is the biggest Red Sox fan around.
But
No
still,
way
it
he
just shocked
would
me.
have
I was like, Alex wearing a Yankees.
Probably might have been because remember.
I know what you're gonna say. Yes.
Oh, I don't know where you.
I was gonna say. Okay, so Wade and I's dad is a big Red Sox fan, and his favorite player was Wade Boggs. He was, and Wade Boggs signed with the Yankees when I was a little kid.
Because remember, they even bought you a Yankees locker.
They bought me a Yankees locker. That is true.
I do remember
because
that.
they had the little Wade Boggs face in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, that might have been during the little Yankee face there for a second.
I need to show you that.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
thought it would be funny.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. I think I'm not a big DH guy, but I kind of like Wade's thought. Did make things interesting, the strategy, and you had both.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex is at a point most of the time they just struck out.
That's true. But do you want to make baseball like football and have two totally different teams? Have your hitting team and your defensive team?
Yeah.
I realize that's an extreme, but
Yeah.
I think there is something to. I mean, obviously, if you have implemented DH, they're going to hit better than a pitcher. That's just how it's going to be. But in the National League, I feel like with the batter or with the pitcher batting, there was more like strategy involved with like the managers and stuff. Sorry, excuse me. Because when you have a pitcher in the lineup, subbing him in and out or pinch hitting becomes much trickier and more frequent and more often. So it's a little more of a.
You have to pick and choose your moments.
Yes.
right, yeah.
It's a more strategic. It seemed more strategic to me in the National League when you had the pitcher batting, while the American League was. I mean, it might have been a better product. It probably was because he had 9 actual hitters, but there were. I don't know.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying because pitchers are terrible batters.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think about in that is, I think a pitcher ought to have to face the other pitcher, because if you throw a ball at somebody, you ought to have to stand in the batter's box and take it. Not the best player on your team. You ought to take it upside the head if you throw at somebody else's head.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but they don't do it.
No,
They always throw at the best player. They don't.
Right,
They don't
yeah.
throw at the other pitcher. Even when the National League was doing it.
Right.
I remember when the Cardinals were having their big, not one of their big spats.
Right, yeah.
They kept hitting Pujols and Edmonds over and over again.
Right.
And then the Cardinals would turn around and hit Alou and Ramirez and those guys, Derek Lee and those guys. But both pitchers were batting. They could have hit each other if they wanted to. They weren't. They were hitting their best
they were hitting
players.
the other guys.
I mean, it was, so I mean, it could police itself if they wanted to.
Sure,
but
if
they
they
don't.
wanted to.
But I mean, there is a policing to it when you start playing beanball. I think that's what a lot of casual fans don't understand. Because here's the thing: if we're all on a baseball team, and I'm the pitcher, and Drew's our best hitter, and I bean a couple guys, and then he has to wear them,
Yeah.
he's going to have a conversation with me.
Right.
There better be a reason you're hitting these motherfuckers, because I keep having to wear these pitches afterwards.
Yeah.
I keep getting hit beside the head 'cause you keep hitting people.
Right. So, there has to be a conversation had. I don't know.
Anyway, it's a good discussion.
It is.
It's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
I see both
Thank you,
sides of
Dave.
the argument.
Yeah, it can't go both ways.
All right. Email number 3, Drew, or I said Drew. Ray?
All right. Email number 3 is also from Lene. Hi again, guys. Hi again, Lene. Just saw an article about Major League Baseball increasing the size of the bases. What do you guys think of this? Thoughts?
They look huge.
They do look huge. I will say
They
this.
really do.
When you say something's going from 12 inches to 15 inches, at least for me it was like, that's not that huge. That's not that big a difference. But when they showed the difference, I was like, oh, wow. That's a lot of surface area. I mean, because it's not just 3 inches one way to make it a rectangle. It's squared.
Right.
So they increased all the sides.
It goes from 144 to 225.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
when you put the numbers that way, instead of 12 to 15, you go 144 to 220. It makes it sound quite a bit bigger.
So what was the reason they did this again?
It's a safety thing.
Safety thing.
It's supposed to increase base stealing.
Increased base stealing is actually try to steal bases.
That's very true.
That's how we would increase it. No one tries to steal anymore
Yeah.
because it's against analytics.
Yeah.
Well, I guess here's my thing. A lot of people have concentrated on, it shortens the base pass by 6 inches. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
6 inches, on a real bang-bang play, it's going to help you get in there when other guys wouldn't have a couple years ago, fine. But it's just a bigger target to grab a hold of.
Right.
Essentially. I mean, you see guys like trying to do fancy slides and, grab a corner and spin around, stupid stuff like that. It just gives them more surface area to grab a hold of as they try and do these slides, because baseball's trying to take contact out of the base paths, essentially. I mean, they took out run over the catcher a few years ago, and then they took out making contact with the second baseman or shortstop at second on double plays. So I think now they're giving the base runner something like, well, we're taking out an excuse because we're making the bases bigger, so you shouldn't have to run into somebody or take somebody out.
They've got room to be on the base, and you can still
And the
slide
first
in.
baseman has more room now.
Right.
Yeah, and it sticks farther out into the field, so he's farther into the field. If you run straight out the baseline,
Then
you shouldn't run
shouldn't
in.
be contact. Yeah.
Are they making home bigger?
No, home is not bigger. It's still the same.
Okay.
But that's not even the rule change that I think is going to make the most difference in the majors. The pitch clock is going to be what makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, that's going to be.
They're going to be speeding it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of like it because some of these batters that stand there and adjust their batting glove, unhook it, rehook it, unhook it, rehook it, step in, step out, step in, step out. It gets boring.
Well, yeah, this is probably not good on podcast, but here I bat. First pitch comes in. All right, time. I'm undoing my right glove. I redo it. Redo my left glove. Do it. Yep. Tap my cleats with my bat. Do that. And we're back into that.
Yeah, but there'd be a
And they do the little thing when they step back into the little thing. Tap it. Look back. Get my shoulder ready.
It's between every pitch.
I mean, that was just fast talking. Dude. They do it much slower. Like they lean back. They lean over. Tap my hands. I mean, and it takes like 30 seconds to a minute. I mean.
They can take like a 3-pitch at bat and make it last 5 minutes.
Well, they did it last year in the minors, and on average, it took 20 minutes off baseball games. But here's the thing, though. I mean, baseball's doing all this because to drive up ratings or to get more people to watch, whatever. This won't work.
No. It's the way they play baseball is what's unattractive. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Taking 20 minutes, being long is not the reason people don't watch baseball games. Football games are long.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
watches football.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the length of the games. It's there's no plays anymore. It's we try and hit home runs on every play, and if we don't, we strike out.
Right.
Or you walk, which isn't that fun.
Yeah, so it's like there's no action during the games. There's no stolen bases. There's no double plays. There's no inside the park home runs. There's no triples. There's
all the strategy that used to be in the game about
no suicide squeeze. No
right. All
or,
that stuff.
yeah,
Staying there.
yeah. No bunting guys over. No, anything like that. Or I mean, we've talked about it a little bit in the past. Baseball's become infuriating for those reasons, though.
I will agree, though, with what Uncle Doug and Drew said. Speeding it up will take that annoying part out of the game because that is annoying.
It is annoying. I'm not gonna say it's not. I want to see it because before I judge it too harshly, because I don't want them to speed it up too much because I didn't play in the major leagues, but I did pitch competitively, and like 10 seconds is really quick to get your signs, especially if you have to shake somebody off. And when you're in an upper level, they don't just give you a sign and then you say, okay, and you go. They've got to give you like 12 fucking signs because everybody in the stadium is trying to steal it.
Right.
And you got to know what the indicator is and then get it. And so if I shake you off and you got to give me 12 more to get me to my curveball or whatever I'm asking for, that's really quick. I don't know. Maybe it'll work out easier than I think it will. I don't know. I mean, I know that last year they introduced the electronic signs. Like they put them on the shin guard of the catchers, so you can just do clicks, and and the pitcher can feel it, and they know what pitch to throw.
What?
Yeah, they had that last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's almost like the mics and the helmets,
Right. Yeah.
for
Like
quarterbacks.
Quarterback.
So they did do that last year. So maybe that does help them speed it up. I didn't think about that until right now when I was running my mouth. But the one that bothers me the most of all the rules is the pickoff rule. After you throw over twice, if you throw over again, it's a balk.
You can't do it 3 times in a row.
You can't do it 3 times to a batter. What with one batter?
Oh, so if I know, so I'm just gonna bait you 2 times, and then after that, I can take as big as lead as I want.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That.
Well, let's see if anyone takes abuse of that rule.
Well, I would.
Yeah.
I could.
I mean, like, why wouldn't you?
I know you can't.
Right.
If I know you can't throw at me, and if you do, I'm gonna get a base anyway.
I was going to start leading off and just take off fucking running.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about
right.
it? You got to throw it home to get to second. I'm just taking off.
So, like, that's the one that bothers me because I feel like it's such a disadvantage to the pitcher. And I know they're trying to speed the game up. That's what their goal is here. But at the same time, that is something of baseball that I enjoy. The cat and mouse game between the pitcher and a base runner. Now, we don't really steal bases anymore, so you don't get that a ton anymore. But, like, the guy, like Ricky Henderson. How many pitchers shit their pants when Ricky Henderson got on first base?
Right. Because they didn't have to deal with him.
Yeah, and then I guess what? Now I got to throw over there.
Yeah.
Well,
how
many more bases do you think Ricky Henderson would have if he knew after 2 times they threw at him, he has free second?
Well, here's the thing, though. After your first throw over, you don't want to throw over again.
Right.
So really what they're saying is you can throw over once.
Yeah.
Because if you throw over the second time, you better get him.
Yeah. Because if you don't, he's taking second.
Right. Like, Yeah.
Unless it's like a Molina on first, and you're probably good to go ahead and pitch it. But
Well, even that, Yachty would know.
I mean, they all know. But
But I just wouldn't throw over at Yachty at all. That's the difference.
Why would you throw at Yachty twice?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, that's the one I'm like, huh. And like I said, they're trying to encourage base. Well, here's my other thing though. Is it still a stolen base if you threw over twice and I just take a bag?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Like, is it still a steal? I mean, I'm sure they'll give it to me, but like, it's not really the same.
No.
Yeah. We'll see what the stolen base numbers look like.
Yeah, they gave me a bigger base, a shorter base path, and limited pickoffs.
Me just tempting the pitcher.
Yeah.
When's the shift rule come in? They can't do
That's
it
This
anymore.
year too.
This
This year too, which I really like because I think
2 defenders on either side of
Yeah.
second.
that has the potential to put more balls in play, which is what we talked about a minute ago. Was nothing happens during these games because there's never any balls in play. Now, if everybody keeps trying to hit the ball out of the park all the time and strike out all the time, it may not make a difference. But not everybody can do that. Like that's something we have proven. We've taken guys that were making all-star teams and turned them into bums because they're trying to hit the ball out of the park all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that happened to Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter was a multi-time all-star, and they're like, hey, we need you to start hitting 25 home runs a game. And he started hitting 180.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of happened to Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger.
He won an MVP, and then after that,
he's not even a full-time starter half the time
No.
anymore.
He signed with the Cubs now, so we'll see. They'll probably start him.
What? Didn't he platoon the past 2 years with
Yeah.
the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when's the last time you saw someone win the MVP and then they're not even a starter 2 years later and they're only 26 years old or something like that?
yeah, because he was supposed to win a couple more.
I mean, he was good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him. His second or third year in the league, he had 40 home runs.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the next face of the or one of the big faces of the Dodgers going forward, and other people just surpassed him, and they made a bunch more
We know what the Dodgers
trades
do.
and sign.
Yeah, they signed Mookie. They signed Freddie Freeman. They brought in superstars, and
Yeah.
They replace you if you don't do it.
They always have phenomenal pitchers. And Kershaw, Walker Buehler, and a bunch more.
Well, guys, that's all our emails, right, Ray?
Yeah, that was all of them.
So, anybody else have anything they need to say before we wrap this up?
Even though this is out of ways, shout out to Brock. He's going to his first NBA game this weekend.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
So
That is very
Going
cool.
to Chicago and see
Hope-
the Nets
hope it
play.
was- by the time
Right
you hear
after
this,
they
I
got
hope it
shot.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're still a decent amount ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome.
If you haven't figured it out already, we record ahead.
Yeah, and right now we're quite a ways ahead.
Yeah,
More ahead than usual. But anyway, we appreciate you tuning in for this Denver Nuggets episode, and we would appreciate you tuning in next week for the Detroit Pistons episode. There's a team that's been around a while and actually has multiple Hall of Famers. We would appreciate some more emails, guys. Send us some emails. We'll talk about them, answer them, whatever we need to do.
Sports the NEMO Way at gmail.com.
Correctamundo.
Don't forget to watch our TikToks at Sports the NEMO Way.
Yeah.
Or you can add us on Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah.
Send us DMs on there even. And we appreciate you tuning in, and we appreciate you tuning in next week. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.